It's a new day, Thursday, here in Accra, Ghana. Hello, everyone. This is GHToday News. Just ahead. Member of Food Suppliers Association taking ill at 37 Military Hospital after overnight picketing against non-payment of arrears owed them. He said exchanges as Parliament adopts reports of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee recommending passage of anti-gay bill. Minister for Communications and Digitalization Eslo Wusu Ekufo and Tamale Central MP Musala Mohammed slag it out. Stakeholders in advertising heightened calls for passage of advertising bill into law to regulate the sector. We have I am Evelyn Araba Edu. Thanks for staying. This morning, we begin the bulletin with a picketing of the Food Suppliers Association who are picketing. And here, one of the members of the association has taken ill and has been sent to the 37 Military Hospital. The association is picketing over the non-payment of fee of arrears owed them. Has been admitted at the military hospital. Obed King was there and reports.
It's the two of the picketing by the members of the National Food Suppliers Association. Members of the association have vowed heaven and earth not to vacate the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company until they are paid. Yesterday, they slept over here under this tree, under the mercy of the weather, waiting for a response by the company. After spending their first night at the premises of the National Food Buffer Stock Company at the mercy of the weather with hopes of getting some response from government regarding payment of their arrears, one of their members were taken ill and taken to the 37 Military Hospital. Clad in red handbands, wooden placards, members of the National Food Suppliers Association are demanding government settles the over 2 million cedis debt owed them for over 2 years. 65-year-old Felicia Boatin, who supplies foodstuff to some senior high schools in the Eastern region, says her blood pressure has been high in recent times due to debts she has accumulated from her inability to pay those she sources commodities from.
10 years, but for 4 years, just say, me who say semi wo wi ase no. Me who bi da. Na BP ni me so. Me ka say. BP aduro nko a me no. Me sati adwuma ya me she last end this year no. Aduro nko doctor dem a me no. Enti no ka say kufu me kufu do nchen. Na emma Bafa for ho. No minister ho. Na emra. Still be yese kesika.
Her situation is no different from Adra Boni, who supplies foodstuff to senior high schools in the Bono and Bono East regions. She says her creditors are after her.
Yes, Sireno. In Kotogegu form. Yaya Wahana ya batan. Yaja ya maho. Yaja ye fie. Yaja ye krunumho. Any yabetina. Yes, Sireno. Say, won't you yaka? Na yesu yenkotu yaka foka. Yada yenna. Me ameti hoi. Senne ewukui ochina efie ne yawoda. Semanye sika na anko techima edwemu a emmoa me.
Engaging the media during the second day of picketing, spokesperson of the National Food Suppliers Association, Kweku Amedome, decried the lack of urgency with which government is handling the matter. Kweku Amedome added that failure by the government to settle the food suppliers will have a negative impact on the free senior high school program.
The buffer stock and the Ministry of Education doesn't seem to be sensitive to our plight. These are aged women and men in this business. That is what they rely on for survival. So if you are keeping this money for 2 years, check the interest rate as we speak. If for 2 years we have not been able to get our monies for the supplies we have done, it means the free SHS is not a success story. They have to tend to look at us. We are not here to frustrate the process.
The food suppliers want their arrears paid immediately. Until that is done, they will not rescind on their decision on picketing at the premises of the buffer stock company.
Away from the picketing, let's now move to Parliament, where the House has adopted the report of the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs on the Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill, recommending its passage amidst chaos. Chairman for the committee, Kwame Medu-Enchi, in presenting the report, argued the bill has been fine-tuned to conform with the dictates of the Constitution. Here is what ensued in the House.
Chairman of the Constitutional Affairs Committee, Kwame Medu-Enchi, in presenting the reports, acknowledged the bill has been worked on to conform with the dictates of the Constitution.
The committee noted that majority of Ghanaians were in favor of the passage of the bill. However, there are significant human rights concerns which are worthy of consideration. Pursuant to Article 12(1) of the Constitution, all organs of the state, including the executive, judiciary, and parliament, have a constitutional duty to respect and uphold the fundamental human rights enshrined under the 1952 Constitution.
Speaker of Parliament, after both sides threw weight behind the bill, asked for any dissenting voice, but no one rose up.
Any honorable member who disagrees with the submissions just made by the Honorable and the Apia Kubi that all the 275 are in support of the bill. Anybody who disagrees, be on your feet and I will recognize you.
Asawasi MP Muntaka Mubarak described the activities of the LGBTQ plus members as madness. The former minority chief whip questioned why the West is not interested in pushing for recognition of gay rights in Arab countries as much as they do in Africa.
Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that we are unanimous, but the health implication of this nasty act, Mr. Speaker, cannot be overruled because we do not have the resources to waste when we are having challenges of today. So many children not even being able to be cared for when they have some other ailment because it's not covered under the health insurance. We cannot add this. And Mr. Speaker, lastly, the sad thing is that you see two people who decide to be lesbian or homosexuals trying to adopt children. Who should go and give birth to his child for you to come and adopt? Look at this madness.
First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, on his part, insisted the bill conforms with the values and tradition of the country. The Bekwai MP called out the West for seeking to force gay rights down the throat of Ghana, insisting the bill will be passed, damned the consequences.
We must admit that this country, or generally, we are expanding in our outlook. There are a lot more people from other jurisdictions coming to live in our country. That is no justification for importing also value from elsewhere, which are inconsistent with what we have. We have held high and we continue to hold dear. When we lose our values, we have lost ourselves as a people, we have lost our country.
Ningo Pram MP and lead sponsor of the bill, Sam George, on his part, warned the West against any attempt to sanction Speaker of Parliament or MPs following the passage of the bill, as has been done in Uganda. According to him, the business interests of such Western countries will be targeted down here too.
But for Mr. Speaker, this bill would most likely have been killed. Mr. Speaker has stood his ground and ensured that this bill has come this far. And I want to use this opportunity with the support of my colleague members of Parliament, since we all support this bill, to serve notice to the Western powers that we have taken judicial notice of what they have done to the Speaker of Uganda. After Uganda passed the bill, the sanctions on the Speaker of Uganda's Parliament and on the sponsors of those bills. We will serve notice as well that if they replicate same with our Speaker and members of Parliament, we will also take action against their business interest in our country, because they serve in this country and make money from here and take back home.
The House was thrown into a frenzy when Minister for Communication and MP for Ablekuma West, Esle Owusu-Ekufo, sought to draw the attention of the House to the existence of members of the LGBTQI+ in every community.
What we can do is to ensure that the human rights of every Ghanaian citizen are protected in line with our constitution, and that nobody is discriminated against because of their beliefs or sexual orientation. Mr. Speaker, as members of this House, as has been indicated, all of us are in favor and have sworn to protect the values that makes us uniquely Ghanaian, and that includes our cultural and social values.
Other MPs took turns to all speak in favor of the passage of the bill. Speaking to Star News, MP for Asante Achim Central, Andy Apia Kubi, stated that President Nana Odankwo Akufo-Addo has no option than to sign off the bill once passed, given the overwhelming supports.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Ablekuma West, Esle Owusu-Ekufo, has urged women who are forced by their partners into engaging in oral and anal sex to seek help from the police, since the act will now be a criminal offence irrespective of the gender involved. She said this during Parliament's debate over the promotion of proper sexual human rights and Ghanaian family values bill. The parliamentarian was worried over reports of wives facing threats of divorce from their husbands for refusing to participate in these sexual acts. We'll bring you that story later, but shortly after her assertions, the Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esle Owusu-Ekufo, accused her colleague, Member of Parliament for the Tamale Central, Murtala Mohammed, for referring to her as a practitioner of homosexuality. This drew harsh words among other heated exchanges. Take a look.
In response to that, I say repeatedly heard Honorable referred to me as a practitioner of LGBT. In this house, to the hearing of LGBTQ. When you have extensively and repeatedly heard with your wife or your brother or your mother to me as a practitioner, when you have to touch me having sexual intercourse with your wife as if you don't your daughter or your mother. And that I say he is a man. It is only a man in those days who refer to
Honorable Minister.
and call yourself as a honorable member of LGBTQ. When you have to hear it and have sexual intercourse with your wife, you are not the sense of hearing your mother.
Honorable Minister.
When you have to touch me having sexual intercourse with your wife or your daughter or your mother.
Honorable Minister.
Away from Parliament, let's now delve into politics, as 9 out of the 10 flag bearer aspirants have so far appeared before the New Patriotic Party's vetting committee since the process commenced on Monday, July 3, 2023, at the party's national campaign office at Kokromemle here in Accra. Day 3 of the exercise saw economist Dr. Kofi Apraku, former Agric Minister Dr. Fiya Kutu, former Railways Development Minister Joe Garte, taking turns for a thorough scrutiny by the vetting committee chaired by former Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Mike Okwe. My colleague Abdul Hanan Adams was there and he reports.
That was the mood when Dr. Kofi Apraku, an economist and a 3-term member of parliament for the Offensive North constituency, and a former Minister for Trade and Industry under the erstwhile John Kufuor administration, came out after appearing before the vetting committee. Even though he declined speaking to the press after his vetting, Apreko, my daughter, as he is fondly called, is optimistic of winning the race. Then came Dr. Ifria Koto, the immediate past Agric Minister, full of confidence to meet the vetting committee.
Doc, how are you?
Very well.
How prepared are you for the exercise?
Oh, well, it's a household domestic matter. So there's no preparation needed.
After about an hour and a half of thorough scrutiny by the Professor Aaron Michael Quay vetting committee, Dr. Akoto is clear in his mind that he has passed the test and will be chosen by the delegates to deliver the Break the 8 agenda for the party.
The message is going very well with the delegates. They realize that we are very much aware of their situations, and they are very confident that under my leadership, the party will grow stronger and stronger and break the 8 come next year.
Member of Parliament for Esikado Ketan and former Attorney General Joe Gatti on his arrival was welcomed by some jubilant supporters. Popularly known as Big Joe, his session lasted 2 hours. He, however, downplayed fears of his opponents being a threat to his aspirations.
I'm not going to spend my time thinking about other candidates. I'm going to spend my time thinking about Joe Gatti and the people of Ghana. I'm going to spend my time thinking about what will happen if, by God's grace, on January 7, 2025, I'm sworn in as president of Ghana. I'm going to spend my time thinking about the fact that a teacher's son from nowhere has become president. I'm going to spend my time thinking about the hope it will give to people, to millions of people, millions of Ghanaians who come from homes such as mine.
After day 3 of long hours of vetting, 9 out of 10 aspirants, including Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, former Trade Minister Alan Chermanten, MP for Asin Central Kennedy Agyapong, among others, have so far been vetted since the exercise commenced on Monday. Former MP for Mampong, Francis Edei-Nimu, is expected to make an appearance on Thursday before the committee submits its report to the National Executive Committee of the party for further action. For GHOne News, Abdelhanan Adam, MPP National Campaign Office, Kokomlemle.
Let's now do business as the Advertising Association of Ghana, AAG, has expressed concerns over the prolonged delay in passing the advertising bill into law. According to the association, the passage of this bill is crucial in providing legal backing to prosecute advertisers who violate industry regulations. My colleague Rosemond Akoko-Ajete has more in the following reports.
Speaking to GHOne News, Andrew Aka, the president of the AAG, explains that the bill, which has been under consideration for approximately a decade, will establish an advertising council responsible for regulating the sector and safeguarding local investment when passed into law.
There's an appeal to all stakeholders that please help to sanitize the entire advertising industry, whether it's billboards that are cluttered all over the place, whether it is false claims by products and all of that. We need this bill, and as a regulatory body, it would help to sanitize. The association is a self-regulated association. We cannot bite because we do not have the law.
Aka further reveals that the advertising industry is a lucrative multi-billion industry, but due to a lack of expertise among leaders, it often receives inadequate attention.
The advertising industry is a multi-million-dollar industry. You'll be surprised the total advertising budget that we have in this country. So it's not but we don't pay attention. If I would say we don't pay attention to the industry because you don't have that many experts in there who are probably in the political circle, so they may not see the real essence of this. We are the expert. We are in this industry. We know the essence and the power of passing this bill, and that's why we are entreating all stakeholders to kindly help us to push this bill through.
The AAG remains hopeful that the bill will soon become law, leading to the implementation of best international practices and effective regulation of the sector's activities.
A renowned economist, Kwame Punim, has called on financial institutions to pay critical attention to their non-performing loans and also lower their interest rates. This, he believes, will help these financial institutions meet the demands of regulators. He spoke on the sidelines of the 20th anniversary of the Payport Savings and Loans.
Non-performing loans lower your interest. In Ghana, one of the things facing is high interest rate, and it's time we work to bring the interest rates down, and that was timely advice. I think that it's getting better and better with the digitalization and ICT. It makes it very easy for a few people to sit in a place, even in a village, and start a business, especially for the young people who are ICT savvy. And you don't have to work only in Ghana, you can work anywhere.
Chief Executive Officer of Bayport Savings and Loans, Kwesi Abuaji, stated that the company has been able to flourish over the past 20 years due to observance of regulations by the Bank of Ghana.
So the one thing about financial institutions is we are very regulated, and it's important that you take as much of the regulations into your business operations as possible. At Bayport, we uphold the highest levels of integrity, risk management into our operations and governance. So we take the regulators' advice very seriously in our operations, and that reflects not only in our performance but in our relationship with our various regulators.
Well, this is where we end GHToday News with me, Evelyn Aroba Edu. Stay tuned for GHToday, which comes up shortly. Have a good day.